Approved helmet.
So what I call the Von Zippo helmets.
I like to ride in a lot of states where there's no helmet law. Because I wear the do-rag, but a lot of times I'll just wear the shell.
What states don't have the no helmet law?
Connecticut is a no helmet law.
Connecticut, New Hampshire,
yeah.
I think Pennsylvania. They might have just changed. It really is a dynamic environment for
It's
that.
a choice. I mean, if you're going to ride, I mean, I like riding in a pair of jeans and sandals and a t-shirt and, you know, a do-rag. I mean, it's part of the fun of riding.
Do you ever wear, like, can you wear shorts?
Yeah, you can.
You can. You go down, though, it's going to hurt.
Right.
Yeah, if you go down with sandals, too.
Yeah, you go
What
down
about
with
on a
sandals,
scooter?
too.
It'll hurt just as much, just not as far.
I've never been on a scooter.
Yeah.
It still hurts when you fall. Just imagine you falling off your bike, you know.
Yeah, but the scooter's a little faster.
Yeah, any exposed skin is you're gonna get a nice little.
Right. You don't go by Brain, do you? Because my boss.
I've been called a lot worse than Brain.
Smart guy. Brain Tassone.
Yeah.
Now you're actually a corrections officer.
I'm a deputy sheriff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys, what do you guys like correct?
We run the prison system in Massachusetts for the counties. You have the correctional officers that are state, like Walpole, Concord, and then you have 14 jurisdictions in the state of Massachusetts, counties. Franklin County is Greenfield and Northfield, all the way up to, I believe, Hatfield in that area. Up there, we run the prison system. So we're in charge of safe incarceration and rehabilitation of our clients. And that's it's a pretty.
So basically, you're Dog the Bounty Hunter at day, and then you're a correctional officer by night.
That doesn't go over too well with a lot of the factions, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, how does that work out? Because there must be a conflict of interest because.
No, you have a waiver. I get a waiver from the state, and it allows me to do that. It's kind of a there's a chapter and section that covers that, so it allows me to be a deputy sheriff full time, and then.
So you don't do your investigating in Franklin?
You can't. No, I can't. I don't do it in the county, frankly. I've gone out as far as Suffolk. I've gone out to Boston a few times. You have to do all the work yourself. You can only work so many hours a year. So it's pretty much, there's guidelines set forth. But I've been a police officer for 40 years, and I've only been doing this for 8. So it's kind of hard to explain to other officers that I didn't really want to do it at first. I went down and interviewed for the job and got talked into it, and I saw there was a need because not everybody that is arrested is guilty.
Right.
Not everybody that arrested is guilty of all the charges that are brought against them. And even if you are arrested, there's guidelines and there's rules to play by. You know, if you get arrested and you're guilty and they don't play by the rules, they don't read you your rights, they don't fill out the affidavit correctly for a search warrant, they don't do things by the number as set forth, the elements of the crime that you're being arrested for, you can walk. And that's what the law is about. So that's why police officers, when I was a police officer, my academy was 14 weeks. Now it's 22 weeks for a local officer and 28 weeks for a lot of the state police. So your average police officer now is very educated. When I went through I got a degree, and now a lot of the law enforcement officers are carrying bachelor's degrees in criminal justice because you've got to be smart to be in law enforcement. It's been a good career for me. 48 years I've been in law enforcement as a municipal cop.
So you were like 12 when you?
No, I'm older than I look.
Really?
20. Yeah, I was United States Army military police, and when I got out, I became a municipal police officer in Berkshire County, and. Then I got a degree in criminal justice with a minor in sociology, and I wanted to work with kids, so I became a lieutenant at Westfield State College.
So you were like a kindergarten cop.
There you go.
So you actually swore that stuff actually happened. Schwarzenegger, you played Schwarzenegger.
Well, I told you I wanted to write a book, and that first guest you had, we're gonna ghostwrite a book.
Schwarzenegger played him.
But you have to understand it. I'll tell you one thing, having done both of it, and what's the most important thing a couple has? Not their house, not their cars, their child. Their child.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess you could say
so
that.
Here's the deal. Your campus police officers actually have more to do than your local cops. A local police officer in a small town, he isn't going to have that much to do because there's not that much going on. You go to a university or a college, you have predominantly what? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and what are they doing? From Wednesday to Sunday, they're partying.
They're getting hammered.
And so, I don't know about you, but when I sent my kids to school, I checked in with the local police department that was on the campus. I want to know if they had arrest powers, they carry sidearms, are they medically trained? Because I teach in the Sheriff's Academy, and I also taught at Agawam Police Academy. I want to make sure my kid is going there. I want to make sure that if something happens, that they don't have the bag 'em and tag 'em mentality that a lot of the municipalities have, where they just want to make an arrest. You have to understand, when you're a college student and you're away from home for the first time, and I see young people here, you have to be able to allow to make mistakes in order to grow socially. You want campus police officers that take that into account. That's why colleges have student security programs and resident dorm assistants, where if a student gets in trouble, they get intoxicated, they smoke a little bit of marijuana, that they're not going to get hammered with the full extent of the law. There's the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. I don't know about you, but I try to go by the spirit of the law when possible. I'm not talking about anything major, but if a kid makes a mistake on a college campus, he should be able to correct that and move on without ruining his life.
It is scary, because I was real
Right.
close of carrying like a rape whistle during college and stuff like that, because you never know what's going to happen and stuff like that.
I'm going to tell you, campus law enforcement is very, very intricate. I mean, I was a sergeant at the University of Hartford. I was a lieutenant at Western New England Law School, Westfield State, and I've been to training programs at Northwestern and all the big colleges. And I got to tell you, look at UMass, 25,000 students. How many towns do you have here with 25,000 adults, children?
Yeah.
This is strictly
And these kids
community.
are like partying, they're upside down,
Yeah,
hammered.
they party. Yeah, they party. But I got to tell you, I got a lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for anybody in any form of law enforcement correction. It's a tough job, and it's a thankless job, and you don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried being a social worker for a while, and that was tough for a year and a half, and my heart goes out to them. But I got about maybe 2 years left before I retire, and then I'm going to go to work full time for Dexter.
Now you guys ride together and stuff like that?
We haven't yet. I actually got a heavy cruiser. My wife and I, that's her over there. We have a Kawasaki Vulcan Nomad. It's
No idea what that is. I'm guessing it's a
it's a
motorcycle.
heavy cruiser, 150 pounds. It's new. In fact, we got the only one in the area with the color we got. It's 850 pounds, 104 cubic inch. We put all the leathers on. And
I thought you were
we
supposed to
travel
blend
all
in.
over.
You're an investigator.
I
You're
don't
sticking
blend.
out. You
Too
got the
old to blend
investigator hat
anymore,
on.
you know.
You got the horn. Here comes Brian.
I don't blend in. I'm a nonconformist.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Well, it up at Stearns. I've seen you pull up there a couple times.
I got to tell you, I was working for another company for 12 years, and then I went on my own and formed Branick Investigation for my sons, Brandon and Nicholas. And I got a call in 1999 from John Haymond on my cell phone, and
The John Haymond.
The John Haymond. I got to tell you, he's the real deal. And normally I don't really jump at things like this, but I went and talked with the man, and I've known him for 11 years, and if I had a civil problem, I'd go to John Haymond. I have a lot of friends in law enforcement that are lawyers, but John's the real deal. He rides, he cares, he's a good lawyer, he's smart, and he surrounds himself with very professional people like Dexter and myself.
Can you get me out of traffic tickets?
No, you asked me that before.
Right.
I can get you an interview with Haymond girl.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, can we get a Heyman girl on?
It had a little
gotta-
bit more notice, I'm sure.
yeah.
Miss March.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't go like that.
Oh, it doesn't go. It's not on the
But
calendar.
I could have brought a couple of Haymond girls had I had a little bit
Oh
more
man, we
days
could have made
notice.
this a party. That's a shame.
I don't
So
know how
you
far we go with that, but
you guys, so now how is it compared to Dog the Bounty Hunter? Like what you do? Is it
Dog the Bounty Hunter, a lot of the stuff he does is scripted. You have to understand, I did repo for a while, and
like Operation Repo?
like a Lizard Lick, where they go tow the cars. There's a reality.
yeah, that's a
TV
newer
show.
one. That's,
Lizard
Lizard
Lick.
Lick?
I watch
He's a
Operation
tow
Repo.
operator.
Yeah.
But a lot of this is like big time wrestling that's scripted. So Dog the Bounty Hunter, I mean, it's a show, and that you only get 10 to 15% of every bond. So listen to how much the bonds are. He's going after 15 grand. So you have 5 people, all his vehicles and everything else, and he's going after $1,500.
It'll be $2,200.
You used to be a bounty hunter, right?
What I did was for a couple of years when I was in Connecticut, working in Connecticut as a campus sergeant, some of the guys I worked with, they got involved into it, and they had trouble finding people. So you can't.
Like Waldo.
Yeah, so I would have to go out. I would go out and find them, and then I would get part of the bond. So, but repo work's tough. I mean, try to repo a car at Hartford or Springfield or Bridgeport or something at 3 in the morning.
You ever been shot at?
Oh yeah, threatened. I've been. It's funny, the time I spent as a police officer in Berkshire County, I think I spent more time in the emergency room than I did home with my wife. So, it's a tough business. I ran what they call a small disturbance car. We weren't big enough to have a SWAT car, but we had a small disturbance car, and me and this other guy, we just sat on Main Street and waited for anything to do with violence. I did that for 3 years, and that can change your perspective on life.
Yeah, I bet. I don't think I can handle a gun.
Well, if you got to stop and think about it. The people ask me all the time, do you worry about being a correctional officer? Do you worry about being a police officer? Do you worry about being a private investigator? If you got to worry about it, you shouldn't be doing it. You just do it because that's what comes natural. Somebody's got to do it. I got a lot of respect for the people that do it.
Yeah.
So,
You ever have nightmares?
no, it's never bothered me. And I'll tell you what bothered me was going on medical calls. What I learned in a lot of the small towns, before the fire department gets there, before the ambulance gets there, it's the cop that gets there. So I was lucky enough when I was in the military that I had some medical training. I became an emergency medical technician, and then I became an instructor, first aid, CPR, AED, the paddles and all that. And our cruisers, every department I ever worked in, we always had that. So we would get calls 3, 4 in the morning, and you'd be the first one there. And the problem is, you're there on Christmas, and people are having heart attacks, and people sudden infant death syndrome with the babies. And
Yeah.
you know everybody because you went to school with them, and it's, Brian, and a lot of times you can't. And that's the problem with doing work for John, is a lot of the motorcycle accidents that I go to investigate have to deal with people that are deceased.
Severe injury.
Really?
You get involved with the family, or they're in the hospital, and you have to go up and do intakes at the hospital. You go out to the scene, and you're taking photos of the scene, and there's still blood in the road.
How'd you guys meet exactly?
Well, Brian does a unique task force. Once we come out with our calendar of events, we like to distribute it through the motorcycle shops. So we'll actually visit every motorcycle shop in Massachusetts, Eastern New York,
Right.
Connecticut, Southern New Hampshire, and Vermont. We'll actually go to the motorcycle shops. And Brian, with his broad knowledge of the areas in Boston and Worcester and somewhere I don't know, it's much more efficient to send him out there.
We go up in New York, down in Connecticut. I have 100. I think we started out, I had 44, now I have over 100 motorcycle accounts. So twice a year I spend
We
the
visit
weekend
close to
over,
400 shops a year.
How many hours a week do you work? Do you ever get to,
Oh God, that's
you
my
sleep in
wife.
your car?
I'm never home. Yeah, don't laugh. I did for a while.
I'm not laughing.
For a while, I was a major with a company called Wackenhut. I don't know if everybody heard of it. Security.
Kind of like whack-a-mole?
Wackenhut's a global security company, and after 9/11, I got hired by the government to train and place armed guards all over the state of Massachusetts and Connecticut. And I had a van, and I used to sleep in the van. I would go from one account to the other. So.
Okay. All right, Brian Tassone, everybody. Brian, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. If you could get, I know like a bunch of people.
Oh, I have people lined up. I was telling you, I have a paranormal investigator that I know I think would be pretty cool.
Right, yeah.
I have a criminal lawyer, because John's a civil lawyer. I know a criminal lawyer.
Fantastic. I hope I
Get
have
him,
him on the
fireman, anybody along those lines would be good for you.
All right, Dexter, thanks for being on the show too.
My pleasure.
And
Thank you very much.
Haymond girls. I like that.
I'll
Okay.
get you an application.
Yeah, thank you.
He wants him to come up and visit. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. This is Crepes Tea House. This is Big Talk with Little Joe. Thank you, audience, for being here. Hope you liked all the guests. Thank you and have a great night. Thank you.